All right, so we got Will and myself here playing Century New World. I'm gonna get it right before the end.
Call it Century.
I swear. Playing a Century game. For Will's currently finishing up setup, but for anybody not familiar, Century is a trilogy of games that have been routinely dubbed Splendor Killers. That being said, if you've played a couple of board games here and there, then Century is a really awesome place to go next. The initial one, Century Spice Road, uses card selection and has a bit of an engine building aspect to it. Then Eastern Wonders is a more tactical game where you sail ships in order to exchange spices. And finally, the last one in the series, New World, is a worker placement game. At their core, all of the Century games are about swapping and upgrading your spices in order to exchange your spices to get these awesome victory cards. I'll go ahead and do a quick rules rundown while Mr. Will Soya finishes our setup here. But essentially, in Century, what we're trying to do is get the right combination of spices in order to get these victory point cards. And because they all rely on that same core mechanic for scoring and resources, you can actually combine any two or all three of the Century games and play one big game and just use your most efficient method to get the spices that you need. So if you combine New World and Spice Road, you can choose whether to put a dude on a map and get a spice for putting your dude on that map, or you can choose to play cards in Spice Road to get those spices. One of the things that's kind of the hallmark of the Century collection is rather than having a round reset like a lot of other worker placement or card playing games would, in the Century series, what they do is at any one of your turns, one of your available actions is to rest and take back all of the pieces or cards that you currently played in order to be able to redeploy them. And so that means that the game is always quick and engaging, and you're never stuck with nothing to do unless you choose to take a turn to do nothing, so that the next turn you can do even more. All right, how many workers do we start with? Let's start there.
Yeah, we start with 7 workers in a 2-player game. Okay. Traditionally, it's 6. So I got 7 of my workers here on my player board. Jordan is going to be the first player. That's why he gets 3 yellow cubes. I'm second player, so I get 4 yellow cubes. Okay. How this works is on our turn, we have to either work or rest. When working, we choose one of these location tokens.
Oh, switch the camera back over here. Okay, so when we work, we choose a location.
Choose one of these locations, place a number of workers on that location that it requires. So in this case, we would take 2 workers, and then we get the action that the location provides us. So in this case, I would get 3 yellow cubes.
Okay, and then on my turn, if I wanted to, I can bump Will by putting 1 more worker. So I can take and put 3 workers down where he had put 2, and that will release his workers, so advantageous for him and disadvantageous for me, because now I'm down an entire worker unless somebody else bumps me or until I take a rest turn. But I do actually like that aspect of the game because it means you're never locked out of what you want or need to do next.
Right.
All right, and then while Will's looking up the next thing,
It's just these that I have the next question about.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I can't remember. Because I know these are upgrades that you can place on your player board. Or...
I think that you get to claim them when you claim the victory card that corresponds with it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right, and then the symbols are... Wait. But do these don't go here, do they?
No. I'm sorry, that's these.
Okay, I was like, these don't go on your player board.
That is my bad.
These go on your player board. So there's an extra victory condition or another set collection method for victory points in New World that wasn't in the previous ones. You can claim these tiles, and then they're going to give you victory points based off of the number of victory cards that you have that symbol on them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's why I couldn't find it, because it's the overview sheet that information.
One other thing to go over on the player sheet. So we do have a limit on the number of cubes we can store. So Will and I can only have 10 cubes. And then what we're talking about is those victory point tiles that we're looking at on the top row of worker placement action here go in these 3 slots next to our cube storage. And so that's how we're able to get those bonus set collection points. And then we're currently trying to figure out what the heck these other tiles are that have the wooden tiles with the green on them. Let's see here.
So what these are is when we take one of the exploration point cards, we can claim any one of these to place next to our player board. And we get that.
And then we get the bonus effect immediately. Yeah. So 3 bonus victory points, or a brown and a yellow cube, or a permanent token that goes towards these set collections.
Yep. And also we get different effects based on what type of point card we redeem. So like this one here is the native help, which is whenever you use a location that includes the depicted icon on the circle, the required number of settlers you need to place on that location is reduced by 1. So there's like different archetypes that you can kind of build into.
One of these locations here that have that bone, because I think red is food, right?
Yeah.
Like meat.
Yeah, it's corn, meat.
Yeah, so then we'll be reduced by 1 if we have that victory card. Whereas over here, when we go to a breadbasket location to harvest our grain, we'll get a bonus yellow cube when we take those actions, even if it doesn't provide any yellow cubes, like this green one here. So...
Last thing you know is just like when the game ends. That's the last thing that I don't know.
I think
about.
it's when people get 15 victory points. Let's see here.
Is it the same as the other Century games, just like a victory point count?
Take a look at our handy dandy rules sheet. Nice thing is the rules are just on 2 double-sided sheets, so quick and easy to learn. Once a player claims their 8th point card, finish the current round, then the game ends, and we score for our point cards, for the bonus tiles / set collection, and then we get for the exploration tiles, which are those green ones that we were talking about, and then every non-yellow cube is worth 1 point. If there's a tie, the tied player who was last to take a turn wins. Ooh, is that even legible on here? Am I just showing you guys? Oh my gosh, look at how quick that is to focus in.
That's amazing.
There we go. Now we can actually show you what we're talking about. Then we should definitely start giving credit to the game designers. Well, should we?
Yes.
It's that guy, Emerson. Name I cannot pronounce. That's what we're gonna probably have to call most of the game designers. I don't know if you guys know this. A ton of game designers are not from the United States.
A lot of European game designers.
Really unique names. All right. So thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night.